It finally happened. We had a bunch of goalless streaks snap tonight as Josh Anderson scores his first of the season finally from about 190 feet. Pearson snapped his goalless streak. Slafkovsky's on the first power play and on the top line and has looked as good as he ever has in the NHL. There's a ton to break down from this game, and you'll want to stick around for all of it on this episode of Habs Digest. And before we get into the video, a quick reminder, guys, I do this occasionally to just tell you to hit subscribe. There's a ton of you who haven't hit that button, about 60% of you watching. And if you like our daily Habs content, hit the button. We have content about the Habs news, rumors, reports, game reactions every single day, so you won't regret it, I promise. And without further ado, we got to talk about this. And why not just open with Josh Anderson? I mean, it finally happened, Jesse. Maybe not the way a lot of us were hoping it would happen, but it happened. As I'm going to flash up the box score, as always, feel free to pause if you want to take a closer look. But Josh Anderson, in my opinion, by far his best game of the season. He got an empty net goal there at the end from his own goal line, basically, and everyone jumped in the celebration. Montembeault even joined in. Caufield looked happier than anyone in the building on the bench. He also had a great assist earlier in the game, Jesse. Another similar play to last game where he could have had a shot in the slot, but instead looked for the open teammate as Monahan had a tap in. What did you think of Anderson tonight? These last few games, I mean, you gotta think he feels great now that the monkey is finally off his back.
Yeah, amazing for him. And you have to feel like the results were going to come. Like, over the last couple of games, he's been playing good hockey. And even though it wasn't like goals that he's scoring, like I would say as Habs fans, like we're so happy with him. We just want to see him producing this, having an effect on this game, and it just, statistically speaking, it just seemed like he had to score tonight. You know what I mean? So, that's it. So happy to see that one kind of happen for him, it's like, just seeing him, so fired up, during the anthems. That's when I sent that text to you, Josh. I was like,
that text,
okay,
that text where Jesse absolutely called it. This is not something he sends every day. This is Jesse calling this before the game. Yeah, I mean, props. Jesse Poirier was the reason Josh Anderson scores tonight. How does it feel?
It had to be, just statistically speaking, right? This guy can score this many games, right? Just seeing, I sent it right after I saw him fired up during the anthems. You see him there. I was like, okay, he's good to go tonight. He's putting together a good body of work over those last couple of games. He had to feel like he was ready. I was wondering, is he actually going to do it? But he saved his best just for last, to really cap off this win. Which was really so huge to see and really big for this whole team.
Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome. And like, I don't know, like part of me is wondering, like, this is the most cynical part of me. It's like, is this a bad thing? Because he's turned into a good playmaker all of a sudden. No, it's not a bad thing. He knows, he's like, now he can play make so well. And now the monkey's off his back. He got a goal and he's now up to 4 or 5 assists on the season again. His last few games have been the best of the season by far. I think now that he's just sort of accepted that he doesn't have to try and score every single time down the ice. So really, really awesome game from Anderson. And I mean, he was a main story, Jesse, but we also got to talk about our boy Juraj Slafkovsky. And oh my goodness, look, he got his shot on the top line again with Suzuki and Caufield. We found out this morning at practice that's what they were rolling with. And apparently Slaf walked into practice and that's how he found out. He saw his name on the top of the board. And, after hearing from Caufield, like at other guys in the team, you got to shoot more Slaf. He's like, okay, yeah, because that last game, or that time where he had a 2-on-1 and didn't shoot. Coach Marty's like, you know what? No, it's okay. We had you on the third line for a game. We're putting you back up top. And I mean, every time he's been with those two, Jesse, every time it's been Nicole and Juraj on the same line, Slafkovsky has looked as confident as I've ever seen him. He levels up his game when he plays with these guys. And there were stretches tonight where he looked arguably like the best man on the ice.
Yeah, definitely. And this is his best showing so far on the first line, which is saying a lot. And I think this win tonight can definitely be attributed to the very clever line combinations and adjustments that Marty St. Louis made. With putting Slaf on the first line, then also putting Evans, normally, kind of a center, as a winger on that second line, him contributing very much to a goal tonight on that second line scoring. So really, really nice to see, like, Slaf just looking awesome out there with and without the puck. Like, I found what was one of the most impressive parts of his game was he was kind of like a stabilizing force sometimes, like in the defensive end when maybe we were wanting to get it out. He's like, no, okay, give the puck to me, guys. I got it. I'm coming through with speed. I'm going to clear it out here. So that was amazing to see. But then also him being able to use his body and just winning so many puck battles. It's not gotten to the point, Josh, where it's like when you see a puck battle when Slaf is involved, you expect that he's going to win it. Isn't that a nice thing? Like, as a Habs fans, where it's like, he's going to be getting this puck. He's learning how to use his body. Like, we're seeing him get his chances in front of the net. We're seeing, like, he's turning into a star right in front of our eyes. Like, that star probability, we're not going to throw, any shade at, Shane Wright, who wasn't seen in this game, but I believe it deserves to be said, right? Where Shane Wright's not in this game, Slaf is playing on the first line, and not just that, but really showing up. And like, I felt like this first line was just key for the entire team, right? When they were playing well, especially in that first and second period, as were the Montreal Canadiens. And it makes sense, right? These are your biggest, most impact players. So the way that he was able to impact this game tonight on the first line was truly remarkable.
Yeah, for sure. And again, like his best games come when he is the most confident. His passes, like it's everything about his game. Because a lot of the time when you watch Slav, you're like, oh, gosh, I wish he was maybe a bit more physical there, a bit stronger on his feet. I wish his puck work was a little more firm. I wish he wouldn't have made that decision. But tonight it was just like everything he did. I was like, oh yeah, okay, no, he got this. Like you said, I mean, this has been a theme the whole season. The board battles, that's been wild to see. Like he just doesn't lose them. I don't understand. Like he always comes out with the puck. There was one tonight where there was a guy kind of near the boards, and Slav just comes in from behind and just like pins him into the board, and then just kicks the puck away, and that it started into. Yeah, this is wild, right? Like and it started a whole Habs offensive possession. But the confidence too is coming from like he likes to dangle, he likes to show that he has silky hands for a guy at his size. And what he did tonight directly led to the Habs goal. He went in, dangled around about 3 Kraken players, gets to the net before he has to get tripped up by Adam Larson, and that led to a power play where not only was Juraj on the first line, he was on the first power play in the one-time slot, the place we've wanted him to be all season. And guess what happens? He doesn't get an assist or a point on the goal, no, but he is over there waiting for the puck, and you see the Seattle defenders have to shade over on him because he is a legitimate threat. He has a very hard shot. So what happens? You get a beautiful tic-tac-toe Suzuki, Caufield, and like back and forth, and then out in front of the slot for Monahan, who had 2 goals tonight, by the way. That one on the power play and the assist from Josh Anderson. It's I mean, Slafkovsky was just so phenomenal. I feel like we could talk about him for ages, but this video is getting long, so we're gonna change again, like on the fly, just pivot. One guy, there's a lot of people we can talk about, Jesse, but one guy I wanted to talk about quickly is Samuel Montembeault, and just to show his stats again. I mean, oh my goodness, 32 saves on 34 shots, and these were not easy shots. He got beat, he got hit a couple on the post as well, but he made some really, really good saves in tight, and the 2 goals that beat him were tough. One was Jared McCann after literally 3 minutes in the Habs offensive zone. Everyone was dead tired. McCann just skates out front, snipes it bar down, and the other one was a Vince Dunn shot that deflected 4 times and hit the post in the very back top of the net, and ricocheted out. So no chance on either. What did you think from him tonight? I mean, he got his contract, and I think since then he's arguably been even better.
I think Samuel Montembeault is definitely one of the reasons that we're winning this game. Even though we had a strong first period, he made some spectacular saves. It's not just the saves he made, but the quality of them sometimes. This is beautiful right pad kick save, early on this game, just absolutely phenomenal. And after a performance like this, like I just want to see Samuel Montembeault in net for our next game. Mm-hmm. Tonight was the 20th game in a row, Josh, where we were having a different goalie in net. Right? And it's like, you got to feel like if we want to be getting those wins, we need to go with the goalie that gives us that best possibility. I feel like I know we have the 3 goalie tandem right now, and we're trying to give time for everybody. I think as we want to get a little bit more competitive, that might necessitate a trade a little bit more, because we're going to want to give more time for Montembeault to be playing back-to-back games, because he's really playing, like, he's not just playing well right now, but confidently. Mm-hmm. I think that's the big thing. Like, we've never seen him play this confidently in net for the Habs right now. It's just showing in how he's playing, and the team really responded to it as a whole.
Yeah, and that kind of thing, like when your goalie can be making those big saves, the relief that you feel on the players, and if you're a player, and the urge that you feel like I got to make that up to him for blowing that defensive coverage, whatever, it's like, it really helps the team when you have a guy back. I mean, Habs fans are familiar with that. Look, I'm not saying he's Gary Price, but I'm saying that we saw that a lot, right? When Price would make an amazing save, or a sequence of saves, or a big, long offensive possession ending in a great save and cover. It's like that level of calmness and confidence that instills in your roster is really underrated, I think, a lot of the time. And you're bang on the money with that with Samuel Montembeault. He adds such an interesting dimension to this team. And I mean, the team as a whole tonight, Jesse, I don't think there were any weak spots. I felt like the team worked really well together. They only had 1 power play drawn by Juraj Slafkovsky, and it only lasted 58 seconds before probably their most beautiful power play goal of the season. I mean, did you even have any negatives for tonight? I mean, for me, this was look, maybe that little that we let Seattle get back into the game a little bit, but at the same time, those shots were hard to stop. I just feel like this might have been the Habs' most complete game of the season.
It was, 2.5 periods of very good hockey is great for this team, right? But the fact that we're able to kind of come back in the last 10 minutes of that third period to really kind of put a stamp on this game, I felt was really, really big. And a big reason I feel like why we're able to do that was solid contributions just from all three lines. Obviously, we spoke on how good the first line was. Second line, Monahan with 2 goals, looking great. Anderson obviously contributing. Evans, great. I love to see him playing up the lineup. Like the type of guy that you just want on the ice, like you can just trust anytime when the game's on the line.
I love
Just
Jake
put
Evans.
Jake Evans out there, right?
I
You
love
gotta
him.
love that. He's got more in the tank offensively. And then the third line as well, with Pearson and everyone else, and we know what to expect from Gallagher. Dvorak, showing a lot of heart in this game. It's just a solid game. I mean, all the way through from all those lines. And that's what you really want to see. And I'd really like to see some consistency in these lines going forward because I mean, I really like the chemistry tonight.
Yeah, I loved this this thing they used to do with Dach and Monahan. They did with Evans and Monahan with them both taking draws, and it was really really cool to see
Mm-hmm,
that dynamic.
mm-hmm.
Evans was 10-2 on the dot tonight. And yeah, I think I mentioned earlier. I don't know if we talk much about Pearson scoring a beautiful goal off a rebound. Well, beautiful. It was just sitting there, but he still scored and it snapped like a big goalless streak. So all in all, just amazing. The boys are playing well for Alex Newhook. They're playing well for Arber Xhekaj, who just got activated off IR, and we might just have a bit of an Arber Xhekaj video for you tomorrow. Some crazy stuff out there. So you'll want to come back tomorrow if you want to hear all about that on Habs Digest. But for now, that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're like, what are we, 100 subs away from 8,900? We're just over 1,000 away from 10K subs. And if you guys want to be part of it, well, there we go. Hey, welcome back. If you guys want to be part of it, you hit the button now. We'd really appreciate it. I'm Josh Goss, my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.